Hello. We are live with the Crow Inquisitors, Season 3. So exciting. I'm so happy to actually be back in full force with this wonderful group of people playing some Burning Wheel. Bad things are going to happen. It's going to be fantastic.
The wheel is on fire.
The wheel is on fire. It's going to be awesome. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. Because Theo isn't here, I don't have to ask him about what extra life path he took in the medium, because I think that's what I'm going to do for practice, Josh, just because I want to ignore those rules until I figure out a better way to use them, and just basically give the people who had recurring characters almost kind of like an extra life path in between for the 2 years that you were in the desert.
With the horse.
So
I think I made that joke already. Never mind.
So we already did that for Cantarius. So yeah, the two people that aren't here, Trevor and Adam, aren't going to be able to make it, but that's okay, because Trevor's character is the most isolated from everything that's happening anyway, and yeah, we can say that Theo's doing something, and it's not a big deal. So let's go ahead and get started. The scene we open up on. So first, we see the opening credits sequence, obviously. We see, oh, actually, so, I'm trying to think, what would be an interesting thing to, because you know how at the beginning, right before the opening credits sequence of a show, you have, like, that one scene that's kind of like, oh, wait, that doesn't make any sense, but something's happening that's important.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what's a thing that's happening.
I mean, we know that Cantarius and my interaction goes very poorly, so we could have him storming out of somewhere. And...
Well, no, I want it to be like prologue-esque, like something
okay.
Something is happening off screen. I probably should have thought about this. Don't nod at me, Josh. Okay, so basically we get this really almost drawn out, elongated scene that's basically completely silent, except for the drone of wind. All right, we get this like aerial shot above the desert of Nasrin, and it's just this expanse of like half kind of like savanna, half desert. We see some oases, we see some dotted settlements, and then we see Shadow of the Colossus style, a falcon like kind of swoop into frame, and it's like just like gliding on the wind, right? And it's just this really elongated scene, and that's all it is. It's just this falcon gliding on the wind, and then it hard cuts to it hard cuts to the opening credit sequence, which I think is probably anathema. Like, that's probably, so it's like, yeah, this hard metal screamo kind of song. Super, and the opening credit sequence is super dark. We see all the different characters. We see, Cantarius Tasuki. We see Casper Goldvein, Stor Idrikson, Siegfried. We see all these people.
I think it's the Caspian.
Oh, goodness. Apparently this overlay has Casper. What in the heck? Goodness gracious. This is just
sorry, I didn't mean to break your...
No, that's all right. I'll open that up and change that. Yeah, so we see all those characters, and then it fades out on this hard note, this hard like electric guitar, like, and it's reverberating. And then we pick up, and we see a couple of shots. We see a faraway shot of the traveling city of the new Crow Inquisitors. We see this long line of, it's like a caravan, making their way through the desert. And we see a couple of like montage shots of them like walking along this like barely visible trail, this road in the desert. We see some of them, just helping a couple of the stragglers at the end of like the trail. We see them, just a montage of different shots of these people going back and forth. We see a couple of soldiers in burnished breastplates, but they're very they're worn but well taken care of. We see them holding tridents with knives strapped to their belts, and we see the emblem of a crow emblazoned on their armor, and they're kind of like, you know, just watching like the rear and the front and the sides of this traveling city, basically. We can tell it's a traveling city because there are so many people in this caravan, and there's wagons, but it seems like, yeah, like the wagons that you'd live in, not wagons that are carrying goods. We see people, like, you know, carrying tents, and yeah, it's just this huge procession. There's families, whole families just as part of this big procession, and so you know, there's some Middle Eastern style music playing. And then we cut, and it's like getting on towards evening, and the camp has like stopped, and so they're starting to set up the tents, and you know, people are starting to cook some food for the evening meal, and the camera follows. The camera follows just a random Crow Inquisitor. One of these, he's obviously Serrano, but you're all wearing like baggy clothing, desert clothing, and so this guy's just like walking through camp, and he seems like just a random person, right? Like, you can tell by the shot that this is just an extra. He's not an important person, but it's following him as we go throughout the camp. We're seeing these shots, and he passes by a tent, and he kind of stops a little bit, and he like looks at it, and then he does some sort of like symbol, like this, with his like a religious symbol, and shudders a bit, and then walks on, and the camera stays in front of the tent and then goes inside, and we see a very different looking Cantarius sitting in the tent. What does Cantarius look like, and what is he doing?
I think his beard is probably grown out farther. His hair is, instead of short like mine, like the picture shows it to be of him, it's now long and slicked back like John Abruzzi from Prison Break. He's got this long beard, right? And he's sitting at a chair, and in front of him is a little desk, and he's staring at the Bible that Alphonse and what's his name, Dellin, gave to him.
Alphonse didn't give it to you. It was just
no,
Dellin,
that's the Bible that Dellin gave to him. He's just staring at it, and the book is closed, and he's just staring at it.
Awesome. And so yeah, we see this. And what kind of clothes are you wearing?
I mean, desert clothes. Whatever he can get his hands on.
Yeah, like baggy clothing. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Probably a lighter color. Because it's the desert.
So we see, you know, we pause on you for a while, and we see you just, you know, sitting there, kind of contemplatively, and then someone walks in. The tent flap is pushed aside, and a well-worn looking Antonius ram enters the scene. And yeah, Antonius is, I think he looks similar to you in that way. I think, yeah, his hair is, the hair on the top of his head is grown out a bit. So, and he doesn't have it slicked back like John Abruzzi, but he has like this longer hair, just kind of like over, and it goes right into his giant beard. And so it's hard to tell where the hair stops and the beard begins. But yeah, he looks a little haunted. You know, his eyes are a little sunken, but he doesn't look like ill necessarily, just kind of weary. Yeah, he steps in and he says, he notices, he doesn't say anything at first. He looks at you and notices that you're looking at this Bible. scriptures, the Serrano scriptures, like just sitting on like a table, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he says in like a deep rumbling voice, "Are you ever going to read it?"
I stand up. No.
Yeah, and there's a long pause. And he says, "They're waiting."
I step out.
Yeah. And you step out. So, there's a judgment to be decided.
Of course.
Someone did something wrong. And it happened while you were traveling. But it was basically like the trial per se was pushed off to when you made camp.
Right.
Like basically at like sunset is when you usually do these sorts of judgments. What did this person do wrong?
I can decide. He raped a woman.
Yeah. What is the normal punishment for that?
Death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you step out and go to do the judgment. Yes, you step into this. What does this usually look like? Like, give me some more information about what these sort of judgments look like. Like, how would you have set it up? The trial and like the judgment.
Put a man in the center. The person who's being judged is in the center, and the judger goes in the middle with him. Or not the judger, the judge. The judge goes in with him and stands next to him so that he feels more like a person rather than an object.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's this circle of people, basically everyone, right? Like more or less everyone has gathered around in this large circle that just spans out, funnels outward, centered on this one point in the middle of the camp.
I mean, considering how big this is, I'm assuming there might be criers in the crowd as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
That makes sense.
To echo my voice.
Yeah, to echo your voice. Yeah. No, actually, no. You wouldn't need that. You have hearing.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
you can just make your voice be heard anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody gathers to these things, but they can always hear you.
Sweet.
Oh, that's very helpful for making speeches. Yeah. So you step into the circle, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some of my trusted soldiers bring out the man that they probably had him in custody for a while.
Yeah. And this guy looks really scared. I mean, obviously. He has dark hair, dark long hair, like a 5 o'clock shadow. It seems like he's made an effort to try to shave while in the desert, but you know, there's only so much you can do. You can't keep up with it forever. So he's doing that, he's standing in the center of this circle. He gets pushed out into it, and he's just shaking. And he's not really coherent. He just like they push him, and he stumbles and falls to his knees, and it's just like shaking. And I think he just like kind of crumples down and like puts his hands in his head, or his head in his hands, like this. And he's waiting. Everybody's waiting for you.
He's eating on stream. That's his shtick.
Mm-hmm. I lean down next to him and ask him quietly, and look him straight in the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Did you rape that woman?
Aren't you about to kill him for it? Shouldn't you ask him that before?
I mean, I'm sure he did. Well, I mean, not him personally, but
No,
I was assuming that there was something that happened during this day.
Yeah.
Okay. I
While we were traveling,
No,
I got word of it.
Yeah, that happened today. Yeah, he does not wait a long time to have these sorts of judgments.
Okay.
I figured that of
I
Cantarius.
assumed they'd at least had some kind of thing.
Yeah, there have been witnesses and stuff, and
There have been
witnesses.
There have been witnesses. There's been an investigation, I'm assuming, and people have brought it to my attention of this for sure happened, and now it's going to be a show of letting everybody know this is what happened, so that you guys know that this didn't just happen underneath the skin.
All right. Sorry. Yeah.
This happened. There was an investigation. We're going to present you the evidence, and then we're going to put the judgment before your eyes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you know, you lean down and whisper to this guy. I'm trying to think of in his early 30s. No, it's not. It's not Alphonse. It could be.
I look up.
As in, like, age-wise.
He looks up and I'm just like.
I think you might see so legitimately. I think you might see a little bit of Alphonse in this guy, right? Like, he kind of looks like it, and given the troubles that he's caused in the camp, this guy reminds you of Alphonse. Like, he's a serial philanderer, and yeah, it basically went way too far one time, and he forced himself on a lady today, basically, or this morning, basically.
What do you mean Alphonse never needed to force anything? He just needed to open his mouth and say something. They flocked to him.
Yes, but yeah. He doesn't answer you.
This guy wasn't good at it.
Yeah, he whispers, or you whisper that to him, and he just like is shaking, and he just doesn't answer you.
I asked him again.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he would respond, right? Like, because I'm sure a lot of people in this situation would try to deny it, but given the way that I'm assuming that you've run the camp, he knows that if he did do it and he lies to you about it, like, bad things, right?
Yeah,
like,
hey, you might even kill him. Like, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It might be worse than killing, right? Like, there are worse things than death.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks up at you and he says, "Please, have mercy."
You know how these things go, sir. Or son, not sir. You know how these things go, son. If you were honest, and there's no call for justice. If there's no angry, restless call for justice, we may have mercy.
Yeah, so do you say that to the crowd? Like, do you...
No, they know. This is between me and him.
So what are you trying to imply by that statement?
I'm trying to say if you were honest, and there is some redeeming quality in you that people see from some people that are around you, and they're like, no, this person doesn't need to die. As in, there is no restless, angry call for justice of, well, this person has redeeming qualities, then maybe there's no need for you to die. Right.
Okay, so, I mean, he has nothing really else to say to you. At this point, like, the trial begins. Like, what do you? You're saying, like, what? Defend yourself? Like, what?
No, I want him to admit to it. I just want the truth.
He just did. I have mercy on me. Like, yeah, that's an admission.
No, that is not an admission.
Okay, all right. So you need him to. So basically, what you're implying is you need to tell everyone. Like, you need to stand before this crowd and admit your guilt.
I just want him to admit it to me. I don't. Like, okay. Literally, right now, this is between me and him.
Later, I mean, trial. So
I just want to see him face to face.
Is this an intimidation check? Are you trying to intimidate him to do it, or are you trying to persuade him?
I mean, intimidation to get somebody to confess is not okay.
I mean, he's already established he's gonna kill him. I feel like intimidation's out the window.
I would say this is a command.
Right.
I am his leader, and I am commanding him to do what's right.
To admit it, yeah.
Is that a skill?
Yeah.
It is, yeah. And he just got it. So.
Oh, that's fancy.
So normally this is used in soldiery ways.
I mean, he is under me in this army.
Exactly. This is basically an army, right? Yeah. Command is the ability to deliver curt and effective orders on the field of battle. A character's command radius only stretches as far as the sound of his voice. A fairly short distance, blah, 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 blah. Command can be used to negate hesitation of characters in battle. Command...
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's fancy.
But in this case, yeah, command can also be used in a similar way to like intimidation or persuasion, like you're ordering him to do something.
Okay, I want to fork in oratory and I want to fork in intimidation.
How are you forking in oratory?
I mean, this is my speech. This is my speech
between you and him.
Yeah.
Oratory has to be to a crowd, right?
Oh, does it? Is that specified, or is it just
okay? So
12 million skills for talking to people.
Right. So the thing with
I suppose.
Oh wow! I just found a dead bug in my Burning Wheel book.
Ooh, wonderful.
Oh man. Burning Wheel ran him over.
Yeah, literally. The way oratory is written, the ability to rouse the masses with a stirring speech. It teaches how to project the voice and speaking techniques used to get a point across. So in this instance, like he could use oratory to help this, like because knowing those things would help.
I mean, if he was doing that, yeah, if he was projecting to the crowd, getting him to like, bringing the crowd in on him doing that.
But also, I mean, speaking techniques used to get a point across. Yeah,
well,
actually, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. I think in this instance,
Yeah, I don't think it works.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
I mean, like, it could, but I think he was intentionally not doing those things.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So you can fork in intimidation, and that gives you 2 dice because you have a 7 in intimidation.
Can I fork in rule of law for pretty much being like, look, these are the ins and outs of the law. You need to confess. Right? You have to say whether or not you're innocent or guilty. Like, this is something that's necessary.
Right. So and then that's because you made up the laws, and so
have to make the plea.
Yeah, sure.
And then
you can.
Can I fork in philosophy? They'd be like, dude, like honesty is something. Like this is how you not only do what's right, but like psychologically, if you were honest, it is going to show people, like, that there is no need for your death, and just flat out like, look, this is how this works. Maybe I quote some proverb to him or something.
What's the proverb?
Don't bicker amongst yourself while your enemy's sailing away in your boat.
No.
I don't know if that would work so much for being in a desert.
No time for proverbs. It's no proverb.
Don't bicker amongst yourselves with your enemies walking away with your goat. There's your desert version.
No proverb. My goats. Anyways.
I mean, an honest man gives honest answers.
Okay.
And I want to fork in brawling by punching him in the face.
I'll give you the that's
okay.
That high road went low real quick.
Yeah.
That's 4 altogether.
That'd be funny.
Modifiers. So
okay.
The obstacle here is, let's see. So the will of this, it's his will. Obstacle 4. And so your intent is to get him to confess.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yep. There you go. Mark a routine for command.
Beautiful.
There you go. So you tell him that, and yeah, he slowly stops shaking, and he like looks up at you, takes a deep breath, steels himself, and like stands in front of the crowd, and he says, "Today, I raped a woman. I repent of this grievous sin before the assembled before the assembled brothers here, and I plea for mercy.
I nod to the crowd as in like a, all right, you have your answer. And I nod to the man as a sign of you did the right thing.
So what happens now?
Witnesses come forward. They state their case. And we ask each and every witness and also just the people who know him personally of what they think should be done.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to ask the woman?
Yes.
Okay. Making sure.
But most of the time I'm sure that they don't really want to stand in front of everybody or even be known.
Oh, no, sure.
So they're asked of, do you want to state anything?
And if not, someone else speaks for them.
Yes.
As they've told them what they want us.
Or just not at all.
Right.
If they're too traumatized.
That makes sense. Yeah. So people step forward and do that. You get a couple of guys, a couple of like soldier types who like basically walked in on it, right? Like that's how this got known in the first place. And yeah, so they're there, and they say like they just explain everything in like vivid detail, right? They're like, this is what happened. This is what was happening when we walked in. The woman did not cry out because she was afraid, but it was very obvious to us that she was in distress and she was being forced. And so there's three soldier types who witness this, testify this, and yeah, all three of them say this man, which I'll make a name for him so we can actually like call him by name. This man deserves death. Like he has multiple times tainted this group with his just very inappropriate behaviors towards women, and you can tell a lot of the angle they're coming from. This is a very like protective way of it, right? So this is an unmarried woman, so she doesn't have like a husband that would like directly like stand for her in this instance, but all the three of these men are married themselves, you know this, and so all three of them are taking a very like protective stance of like this sort of stuff should not happen because I would not want this to happen to my own wife. All three of these people are good men that you know personally. Theo trains.
Okay.
And
are they under my
on your side? Yeah, they're
specific.
On your side
So I trust them with my life.
Keeping in mind that they're all actually psychotic cultists, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Yes. That is also a factor to consider.
I ask a different soldier or a man, and I ask, while this is going on, I ask, are there anything that these three have in common, besides that they are all three married, that would potentially, that they would have the ability to talk about this beforehand and say, like, do these people know each other well enough where this could be something that they had planned to frame him for? And I word that, in fewer words. And I ask this every time. Is there anything?
Right.
And also, is there a personal connection to the person?
Yeah, right. So is there a person who like helps you with this? Like who's like a law person?
Yes.
Right. Who's like an advocate, kind of.
I assume so, but I would assume that there would be multiple of them.
Okay.
Maybe four.
Make a circles roll to find out who this person is that's helping you in this instance.
Gosh dang it.
And that's why I made my legal person a relationship.
I have one in circles.
You do? What?
Yes.
Really?
Caleb, I have
How do you have a one
in circles because I suck.
No, that's like impossible. No, you start with half of your will.
No,
Wait,
it's will and perception.
Did you have a 3 will starting out
No,
in the
maybe
game?
it's just will.
No. Oh yeah. Yeah, I must have.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
my will is at 4 right now.
you have two
It's filled up.
tests in it. Yeah.
It's filled up with 3 different challenging tests, and I still need a difficult.
Connor, I technically have like kind of law stuff.
I don't think you would have Siegfried.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna just have to make a circles roll. I think in this
Can I
case it
fork
would just be
anything into it?
you can fork in reputation.
Wait,
you can fork
it can't just be half of will. I have 4 circles, and I only have 6 will.
Plus, you get bonuses for having a bunch of resource point stuff.
Oh.
Things.
I have 1 resources.
I also have 6 gray resources.
Ugh.
It makes me so happy.
Yeah, so you can add a dice for guiding prophet, Connor.
Okay.
Your reputation.
Wait, did you say
all of you-
gray shaded resources?
I have 6 gray shaded resources because I was not physically capable to not gray shade it because my number was
Oh.
so high that it went over.
It would have been a B12.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
I had to gray shade it.
It was it had to be done that way.
Yep.
You also have a 1D affiliation in the Crow Inquisitors, so you can use that as well. So you can get 2 dice.
Are there any skills that I can use for that?
You can make a linked test if you have any relevant wises.
I have cult doctrine wise.
You just have cult doctrine, which kind of
guess.
functions kind of as a wise, but not exactly. The only wise you actually have is junk wise. I don't think you want to use that.
Clearly,
This is
it's a lawyer,
right?
right?
Account?
Yes, a lawyer.
Isn't this a lawyer? Yeah. Junk wise, clearly.
Junk-wise fits.
Yeah.
That's if you want to find a bad lawyer, Connor.
That's true. All right, well, this sucks.
It's just, I think it's, well, let me double
I
check.
mean, why do you need a lawyer? Didn't you write this?
Yeah.
No, this is just,
This is a
person
desert.
who
You
helps
are
him.
the law.
Yeah.
Right, he is the law, but this is this is what I asked him. I asked him, is there a person who helps you with this stuff? Who
Oh.
helps you with the advocacy of different people and stuff like that? And that's the person we're circling up right now.
Okay.
So,
All of a sudden, this cult has a lot of useful people in it.
it's gonna be an OB 2, I think. Yep. You can add some persona. You have a whole bunch of persona, Connor. You have 16 persona.
I'm going to add 2 personas.
Wait, it's
I
an
do
op
not
2?
want to screw this one up.
For a
Yeah,
lawyer?
it's OB 2.
He shares life paths with him?
He does not share a life path with this person. Technically, he has a different life path than this person does, but they're both in the same setting. Because you're all in the Crow Inquisitors. You're all in the same setting, but you don't have all the same life path necessarily. A lot of these people have the pillager life path, is what I gave them as the signified. But Connor himself, he has like the captain basically.
Okay, so you're counting the Crow Inquisitors as a life path?
No, the Crow Inquisitors is a setting.
The setting.
That you all share, which makes it possible to do circles rolls for this in the first place. It's just they don't share a life path, so it's a little bit harder. But you succeeded. So
It was routine, so I get to update my circles to 2.
there you go. Boom.
Working on that?
Circles is 2. So you upgrade your circles and mark 2 persona in circles because you spent 2 persona on it.
That is very true.
So this person is a person you know. Who is this person? What are they like?
I'm gonna say an older gent. Older gent, probably in his 60s. He's a
His name is Nadimo.
Nadimo. Hey Nemo, I call him Nemo. What's up, Nemo? No. So Nadimo, he's probably like 60. I would say he's a very quiet man. He just listens a lot in the city, and so, but he's an investigator. So before he joined the cult, he was
an advocate or whatever.
He was one of the best private investigators in the city of wherever he was. So wherever he Luiditta. So where he worked there as like a private investigator for like 10 years for a creepy organization that eventually died out. And then he was out of a job for a while, and then he joined up with the cult to try and help them because he believed in the cause.
All right, cool. Yeah, so this guy, like, he's just nodding while all this is being said, and he's the one who kind of like says the official statements that you've been asked to give. So like you asked about are these people involved personally with this woman or the man, and he announces that he says none of the three witnesses were involved in a personal relationship with either the victim or the perpetrator of the crime. They are neutral witnesses for all intents and purposes. And he's like making a little note on a parchment that he has.
I ask Nadimo if they know each other, if the three soldiers know each other. Are they good friends?
They are indeed. What do the people call you?
Cantarius. I don't care what they call me. I'm sure they have a name for me, but I always tell people Cantarius.
Yeah, so he says, they are indeed friends, appointed one. They
Did you say this to the crowd?
That he's speaking to you.
Okay.
You're the appointed one.
Okay. No, I don't want this. This is a private conversation that I'm having with him.
Oh, is it a private conversation? Oh, okay,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure he announces this later, wherever. But while this is going on, I just want to know for sure that this is an unbiased witness.
Right. Yeah. So he says, they are indeed appointed one.
Okay.
They have worked under Theo for for 2 years now. They were one of the first very loyal soldiers that he trained, and they do have good character witnesses that are standing by if you do need that. I gathered a few character witnesses. Theo himself can probably vouch for them. I wasn't able to find him though. He's doing something.
Theo?
Sure what? Yes. He straggled behind or something. I'm sure it'll turn up though.
I'm sure he's off slaying a giant beast. And I chuckle at that.
Quite. And like that's actually happened before in this desert.
Yeah.
He
totally
killed like a dinosaur in the desert.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that happened. Yeah, there's like a lot of like velociraptors in the desert. Stuff like that. He says, I have character witnesses standing by for them. I do have a rather strange character witness standing for Ryadi himself. Ryadi is the guy who's being tried. It's the sister of the woman that he raped. She's willing to offer character witness for him if she has to.
For him?
For him.
Put her on next.
All right. Yeah, so this woman stands up, and she's like 15, 16.
This is the victim's sister.
Yes.
Vouching for the rapist.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So clearly there's something else going on here.
She steps up and she basically like gives a shaky account of like a character witness basically thing, like he does like she acknowledges that he is like a serial philanderer, and everyone has been trained to use very blunt legal language when speaking in this court.
Okay, cool. I like that.
And so people don't try or beat around the bush when they say these things. So he says, she says, he has been known to be a serial philanderer. It is true, but he has never raped someone before, and I'm led to believe that this was a crime of passion and anger, not a crime that was mediated or meditated upon in any way, premeditated upon. It was an accident.
So usually I let people like somebody I trust or like an appointee or whatever is they state what's going on and what's going to happen next, and this time I speak up, and I ask
yeah. So Nadimo starts to say something and then you cut him off. Yeah.
What should be done to this man?
He should be redeemed. Appointed one. You should take him under your wing and redeem him. and this is the thing that you have done personally with people before. And so basically she's asking you to apprentice him in moral ways.
Gosh dang it. This is such a good story right now. Because he reminds me of Alphonse.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to redeem Alphonse.
Hey, wait a minute.
Because Alphonse didn't actually do it. Wasn't actually his fault.
What wasn't actually his fault?
He didn't actually rape anybody.
I know. No, it's just the serial philanderer part is what.
And it was definitely premeditated.
You're not executing him for that.
No, yeah, I know. No, of course not, yeah.
I mean, maybe you should, but...
Pull her off the stand. I need to speak with her.
Nadimo raises an eyebrow. He says, "She hasn't finished her character witness, sir."
Let her finish. But then...
He nods. Yeah.
We have to talk. I want you in the room with me.
He nods the third time.
I nod back.
He nods, acknowledging your nod.
And you're stuck nodding awkwardly to each other for a good 10 seconds.
Dig it. We always do this to Nemo.
Sorry, sir.
Why are you apologizing?
She continues and she says, for those of you who do not know, my sister was in a personal relationship with Whitesea before this happened. This was not, a random act, and it was not premeditated. This was an accident, and I'm not sure if they would have it's basically date rape, more or less, but they wouldn't obviously have that as the term. So she says some sort of legal language that means that, where it's like you force someone who you're in a relationship to have sex with you one time when they don't want to, kind of a thing. And then she says, I have known Whitesea for most of my time here in the desert, and before that even in the Lucerta. He's a good man, and he has good qualities.
So they were
simply made a mistake. Yes, they were.
Okay.
Not the sister in him, but the girl he raped, yeah.
Wait, they were what?
They were in a relationship.
The girl that this guy raped and him were in a relationship.
Oh.
So it was like date rape, basically.
Can you... Alright, never mind.
So basically, he forced himself on her when she said no.
No, yeah, I don't know if that was a concept back then, but I don't think you could rape somebody who was in a sexually consenting relationship with you.
No, but
they weren't in a sexually consenting relationship. They weren't in a sexually consenting relationship. They were in a relationship, and he went too far too fast.
All right,
at least that's what I'm assuming was going on, right?
Okay.
No. So she explains, right? She says, my sister has been going through a very hard time recently, and was prevailed upon by Whitesea multiple times, and she politely declined. But he grew angry, and the most recent time, he forced himself upon her.
I see. Never mind.
I tell Nadimo to ask if they were still in a relationship after this had happened multiple times.
Nadimo nods.
I under my breath, I'm like, foolish girl.
Yeah.
How old is she? Not the sister. The
in her 20s, early 20s. So the guy is like 30.
He's not married. What's he doing this?
He's philandering.
Yeah, he's Alphonse.
How is he remotely successul? Never mind. All right. Anyways, yeah, I guess maybe he's not. Maybe that's not
What do you mean remotely?
Okay, pull her off the stand. I'm talking to her.
What do you mean
I
remotely?
wasn't talking about Alphonse. I was talking about this guy.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay,
So the court case still goes on.
I know how
right. So
But
that
I'm-
happens, right? Like you pull her off to the side, but the camera stays with the court case for a little while. And then the camera zooms in on a person in the crowd. This is a sort of mangy looking person. Jared, would you just describe for us what Siegfried looks like and what he's doing in the crowd watching this court case?
Very, very. Doesn't everyone in the scene have to roll? Or okay, I'm kidding. Yeah.
You have an aura of fear, don't you?
There's just a cluster of space around
Yes,
him.
there is. Yeah, there's a wide berth being
Everyone's
given
like-
to you.
It's a very old, tattered, mangy robes, unkempt beard and hair, and I'm just standing there, watching. I'm thoroughly entertained by their politics.
So yeah, Siegfried, as you're like watching this, you notice off to the side, on the other side of like the crowd, like you're standing at the edge of, close to the edge of the circle. On the other side of the circle, you see Luiditta. And Luiditta, she's the wife of a prominent member of the Strong, the side of the cult that still follows Iris and the old ways.
Yes.
You're pretty dang sure that she stole your astrology kit and your alchemy kit and a bunch of other kits that you have. All of
Who
your
is this?
tools.
Who are we talking about?
Luiditta. She is the wife of one of the members of the Strong.
Oh, okay.
And she has a bit of a reputation for being kind of like a witch. She dabbles in magical sort of things. She tells people's fortunes and stuff like that. And yeah, recently you're pretty sure, like you weren't there, and so you can't say for sure. But you're pretty sure she had your stuff stolen.
Well, I'm going to experiment on her.
Oh my goodness.
What does that mean?
Well, for now, I'm going to have my my spirit meerkat thing follow her.
I mean, she's standing.
Meerkat?
She's standing in the crowd watching.
Oh, I'm just gonna go to her tent. I can solve this right away.
Yeah, sure.
I need
Yeah,
my
so
stuff.
you use this opportunity as a chance to go
And I tell my meerkat to
watch
keep
her.
watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Make an inconspicuous test because this is the problem. You have an aura of fear. People notice you.
Yeah.
Make an inconspicuous test to make your way out of the crowd without being noticed.
Okay. What's the
The obstacle is going to be. Oh, it's the observation of the person. So the main person who you don't want to see you is Luiditta. This is what Luiditta looks like, by the way, for those of you who are wondering.
Okay.
Yep.
Let me check if she has observation or anything.
Definitely going to be rolling an anatomy roll with her later.
Oh gosh. Oops.
Okay.
She
That
does
is-
not have observation. So I think like she's really the person that you want to make
Yes.
sure doesn't see. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll for her, and if she doesn't succeed, then pretty much nobody else does. She's gonna roll her perception, and so your successes will double. So go ahead and just roll it against Ob 1, and we'll subverse his test. So.
Boosh, boosh, boosh. Knowledge. Let's go.
So she got 2 successes, and you got 4 successes because of your
Yes.
you double because you actually have the skill. Cool, awesome. So yeah, you succeed. You managed to sneak out of the crowd, just fine. I mean, people around you notice, but it's not noticeable exactly. And yes, you sneak off to go towards your tent. You get near it. And you notice that there is someone next to the tent. How close are you gonna get? You can't quite see who it is yet, because it's through the crowd of people that are because this crowd like goes out for a while.
I'm going to roll astrology to see if I can figure out who it is.
I don't know if astrology would be the thing. You also need an astrology kit, which she stole.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, you can actually use astrology.
Okay.
You can use observation if you have it.
Do I have?
Or actually, no. It would just be a base perception test, I think. Yeah,
Did I really not pick that up? Oh, I'm stupid. But okay, perception.
Yeah, just base perception. And they're not trying to hide, so it's just a matter of distance. So up 2.
Okay. Yes.
All right, cool. That was an ob 2, but you still succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always write down the objects you can see whether it's routine or whatever.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, he's definitely was still routine, even with ob 2, but yeah.
Okay.
He had 6 dice of perception. Yeah. So you notice it is the guy's the girl's husband, her husband. So he apparently didn't go to the thing. He's just kind of like chilling outside. He's sitting on like a barrel. And yeah, he's actually looking through your like tarot cards, basically, right?
Ooh.
Like in your astrology kit. He's like looking at them and like just kind of like
Pulls out the tower.
Yeah, yeah. He's basically doing a fortune telling reading for himself. And you can tell that he's failing at it miserably. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Ooh. All right. Well, I'm just gonna go up to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, oh, hey, nice stuff you got there.
All right, so he's gonna have to roll a steel test because you have aura of fear. I believe that is what happens.
This game have aura of fear now.
Yeah, so many people have aura of fear in this game. Yeah, almost passed the steel test. Once the steel test is made, the victim does not have to test again until the next time he encounters this fearful creature. So here you go. The obstacle says hesitation, which is 5. So he failed.
Yeah.
Jared failed?
No,
No. This guy failed. So he hesitates for 3 heartbeats. He looks up at you and like you can see that fear just like shocks him and he just like pauses and like drops some of the cards.
Dude, what is it about you that's scary?
Yeah, what is it?
My reputation, wasn't it? Right?
It's a lot. It's probably a lot about your reputation.
Yeah.
But
There's
you
like
do have
people who don't know you too, right?
you do have an aura though. It's
yeah.
like an actual like physical thing about your character.
Okay.
I'm sure the reputation helps to be super.
I have like the Gandalf all-knowing look, like the gaze.
That's weird.
Straight through people whenever you see them.
What?
Just look straight through people whenever you see them and unsettle them. I like that.
Yeah. Whenever I look at people, all I see are slabs of meat to experiment on, and they can see that.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, he's terrified. He drops the tarot cards and like looks up and like. Just can't say anything.
And in those hesitations,
I
I grab my cards and that he dropped. And was like, oh, these seem somewhat familiar. And I take a step closer.
Is that your old man voice, Jared? Come on.
Oh, these cards look mighty familiar. I'm not doing that.
It was good though.
If I can be a middle school girl, you can be an old guy. Come on.
When were you a middle school girl?
The anime one shot we did.
Oh,
yeah, the ping pong anime one shot.
I'd pay to see that. David, what was your
YouTube.
little girl voice?
I don't really. I think it was Lips or something. It was pretty weird.
Yeah. I'm the red child.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Anyways.
Okay, so yeah, I grab my stuff that he has, that he dropped.
Goodness. I just realized now that the overlays on the roll screen were wrong. So.
Are your tarot cards magical?
Screw my life up.
I mean, aren't they all?
I mean, no.
Astrology is like a thing that actually does things in this world. So as far as that goes, yeah.
Okay, cool.
What did you do? So you just pick up your cards and what do you say?
Say, these look mighty familiar.
Yeah. Yeah, he just like, Siegfried, I didn't see you there. I just found these cards on the ground. I didn't know they were. Are they yours?
Oh, that's where I left my stuff. You must have all of my other stuff as well. Bugger me. I've just been leaving my stuff all over the place. if you wouldn't mind.
I don't think that. I just found these cards. They're just they were just on the ground.
Yeah.
Yes, I swear.
I reckon I left all of my other stuff in the same exact spot.
Well, I didn't see anything else. Bugger that.
Oh, okay. Then you wouldn't mind me checking.
I would indeed mind that. This is my and my wife's private tent. I'm not going to. This is something that Cantarius himself would oppose to that.
I take a step forward. I also think he'd oppose stealing other stuff.
I reckon he would. And he seems to grow. He seems to like get a little bit more sure of himself, and I think he would.
Well, intimidation.
Are you accusing
time.
me of something? You're intimidating him.
Yes.
Okay. So your intent here is to what exactly?
Scare him into giving me my crap back.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not accusing you per se, just your wench of a wife.
Oh,
That's an ugly truth.
Yep, I have that.
I hope you have a
Ooh,
good
you know what?
fighting
I'm
skill,
going to use that instead of intimidation.
What is your intent with that then? To goad him into a fight, or
why not?
Do you have fighting skills?
So
Nope.
to goad him into antagonizing you so that you can like claim that he attacked you? Is that basically it? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, so
Get ready
right.
for another court scene.
Yeah, we're going straight from one to the other.
ugly truth. I'm not sure. Let's see what kind of truth this is.
I mean, can it be ugly truth? Do you know this person's wife?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
She has a reputation.
All right.
So is this stating the obvious worst possible outcome? Ugly truth about family, ugly truth about your friends.
About his family.
I mean, if he's trying to just flat out point out that his wife is a
Yeah, let's say up to. Yep.
Okay.
whatever that word is, it means you steal things.
So if I fail, will he not fight me?
If you fail, he will be incited, but he will just go straight to like a person in charge, right?
Okay.
He'll challenge you to a duel of honor or something like that.
Yeah, like something that you definitely don't want to happen. It won't be antagonized, like so you have the advantage with it. He'll he'll like draw a weapon or something. Like bad things will happen.
Can I fork in strategy?
No.
Darn.
That's for like military things and like.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I didn't do the base ob. I failed anyway.
Base ob 2 and no 6.
So that would have been a difficult or a routine?
Go ahead and roll it again. I will allow you to roll it again since you didn't. Yeah, didn't get the
base ob is 2 then?
2, yeah. And who knows? Maybe you did get a 6 this time though.
Why not?
Team. Yeah, you can spend a fate. You have 3 fate and 1 persona if I didn't put it on your sheet.
Oh, we didn't do instincts and beliefs and traits and all that.
Oh yeah,
that's true. Yeah, we'll have to do that as we go here.
Hey.
Nice.
It re-rolls itself automatically.
Done. Do it again.
All right.
Oh,
Nice,
cool.
awesome. So, yeah. So, what does that look like? So you say you're thieving witch of a wife or whatever.
Yeah. He gets mad and swings at me.
Yeah. So he how dare you? How dare you? And then say one more thing, it will push him over the edge.
Ooh.
What is it? What is it that you say?
Ooh. Oh man. I need a zinger.
A searing bon mot.
Yeah.
Well, that wouldn't be a good thing to say to him.
I need a zinger. Yes.
Everything I have is scary. It's not insulting. David, come on.
What?
Give me a zinger.
Insinuate that you know his wife well because, you're insinuating that you know she's a thief.
Oh, I'm just sorry she had to settle for you because I'm taken with my work.
Nice.
Holy crap, man.
Yeah, he swings for you. So, he's going to make a brawling test.
Okay. Can I defend with plasma?
What?
Can I, electrify myself?
I don't really think you're going to come out of this being able to say self-defense if you literally just reduce him into a plasma blob.
No, I'm just going to electrify the air around his fist.
He lifted his fist, so I turned him into a blob of plasma.
So your intent here, you're defending by electrifying your own body?
Yes? Or the air around my body.
Okay, that would be a more accurate thing. So I think you can do that, but the failure here would be you electrify yourself instead.
But he would also get electrified if he connects with me.
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
So this is his brawling test.
Well,
So you got one success.
So I just have to beat a 1?
Yeah, but you only have, unfortunately, 1 dice. In
Oh,
plasma.
but this is where I shine. I'm going to do anatomy.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
All right.
No, it doesn't make sense because that would be if you're electrocuting your body. But you're electrocuting the air in front of you. That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, never mind. Okay, elemental discipline
You're
wise.
not even going to fight that.
Mm-hmm.
You would know exactly the right places to put the
Well,
plasma so that his hand reacts from,
Yes.
twitches backward. You trigger the burn reaction instead of...
And he punches himself
setting
in the
his-
face.
no, he's just
That's
gonna
a
use it
little
around
more
himself,
intense.
So the guy will punch it. He has no idea what's going to happen, except that the guy's going to run into his.
I know
feet.
exactly where all of his pressure points and how he'd react to electricity. Come on, Caleb.
But you're not controlling. You're not touching
Yeah,
him.
you're not touching him.
He's the one making the action.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You're putting the plasma, but you need to put the plasma in the right place.
Yeah,
Well, he's not doing that. He's putting an electric field up.
Yeah, he's basically...
Well, not around my entire body where his fist is going to connect, because that's
Yeah, but
way
I think
easier.
still, yeah, I don't.
Okay.
I don't think.
Okay, well, I have elemental discipline wise.
Yep.
I have magic wise.
Yep.
Same thing.
It's more specific.
It's like saying English wise and grammar wise.
Yeah, those are 2 separate
That
wises.
would work.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Those are 2 separate wises that you can have, but I don't think they would overlap in this situation. That makes sense.
One's just the more specific version of another.
So you can get 1 for elemental disciplines wise.
Dang.
It's a fair point.
Sorry, Jared. I'll shut up.
Oh, and it's magic, so I automatically reroll.
Yes, that's true. Go ahead and
You already beat him.
go ahead and just there should be a little box next to all of your magic, all the skills. Just go ahead and check that little box to all of your magic skills, so it'll automatically.
Oh, okay.
open end.
You beat him anyway. Yeah.
So you can mark that routine for plasma. So basically what happens is you throw up this little electric field and he punches it, but just and he just falls down twitching. It doesn't really hurt him. It just really shocks him.
That's a witch!
Shocks him.
Stuns him.
Oh man,
As he falls.
that's a good one.
Yeah, he looks up at you and he says, "Sorcery."
Yes, something your wife's unable to do.
Oh.
What is with you?
Dude, he stole my stuff. That's one of my beliefs. I hate when people steal my stuff.
That's what you believe.
Yes.
You realize now that Caleb's just going to steal your stuff all the time.
But it's going to be gone after I get it. So I hate when people steals my stuff, so I'm going to get my crap back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So do you just walk in the tent then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I have like 5 meerkats come from my robe, and then they help me search.
I mean, that's an animal handling check.
Crap. I don't have that.
Do you have any idea what they're looking for? Oh yeah, they're like semi-intelligent, right?
No, not
no.
yet. He hasn't done it to them yet. That it was discussed that he's going to try to do it.
Oh, okay.
But I can talk to them.
Yes, he can. He has a trait
Here's the
that allows
thing
him to
about
talk.
Burning Wheel. When you want to do really difficult stuff like that, you do it before character creation because it's impossible during the game because the rolls are so.
But that's why I had it that way. Because
Yeah, David, trust me, I tried.
For him to fail having done those things, then to just succeed. Especially because it's a 1 in all of the stuff. Like I just don't think I didn't think it would be plausible that it would have would have all succeeded very well.
Yeah.
So. The smart thing to do would be to upgrade your skills in that first, and then try to do it to the meerkats.
Yeah,
you'll have to do it on other things besides the meerkats. So you just go in and start putting your stuff in like a bag.
Yeah,
like a little satchel. So you do that, and he walks in like the threshold, and he's just like, "Stop!"
Does he have to roll steal again since I left and then he came back? All right, this time I'll do intimidate.
So you just like, do you say anything, or you just like give him the death glare?
No, I'm going to intimidate. You know what happened to the last person who took my stuff?
My goodness.
He doesn't answer.
I take a step forward, and then I point to his arms. You're a soldier, right? You probably like having arms, human arms.
Is that all? That's your intimidation right there?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Go ahead.
Why is this guy still around my camp? Like,
right.
Okay, how often do you do this kind of stuff?
Never. I've never done it before.
Okay, all right.
All right, so I'm going to fork in Ugly Truth. Surgery, since he knows that I have...
Well, wait a second. What's the truth here?
That's what I'm going to do to him if he stops me.
Fair.
Yeah. Can I fork in surgery since he knows that I have surgical capabilities and that I'm able to do this?
No.
Darn. Okay.
Do you get a bonus from his
You use
reputation
your
though?
knowledge
Yes,
of
you can. You can
anatomy
get
or
advantage dice.
surgery to
You can
explain
get
to him
advantage dice
exactly
from
how
your
you do
misunderstood
it.
reputation.
Okay. And
Yeah. Did you hear what Josh said? Josh said you could use your anatomy if you explain to him, like in an anatomical detail, like what you'll do.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. I give a riveting spiel.
We'll
about,
start by making
the science.
Decision right
Yes.
before
Yeah.
this muscle.
and then I'm going to fork in Chimera-wise as well then.
Sure.
Okay.
Just tell him the horrific story about how he was.
I don't know. I think you might do one or the other.
Like, twist them.
Or both.
No, I think I'll allow both.
Okay.
All right. What's the ob?
Ob is his will, which is 4. We've established.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm already forgetting what I forked in. Okay.
You get for having so many skills.
Yeah, I just have to like scan through the entire list every time.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that they updated the character sheets, or else you would have to
Dang it.
go through a giant scrolling list of it.
Yeah.
Did you fail?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'll
That's a
roll.
difficult
Why
test.
not?
You roll that. Make sure you're marking fate on that you're spending on these things.
Yeah. Oh
Like
crap.
on the thing itself.
Yep.
Remember.
That was also a difficult test. So.
Intimidation. Difficult.
Oh, thanks, dude.
What game is that in the background there, Jared?
Stardew Valley.
I thought so. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. I failed.
Close. You got
You
3.
did fail.
I only got 1.
So make sure you mark that difficult test
Oh,
and the fate
wait.
spend on intimidation.
I didn't add the reputation modifier.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead. Yep, just
I
roll
suck.
one more dice.
Dang it. Well,
So close, so close. Make sure you close it, Chase. Yeah, so I'm trying to decide what the failure here would be.
I mean, draw his sword, run and tell on me.
Yeah, I think he escalates, right? He overcompensates for his actual legitimate fear of you by he looks over to the side and like he doesn't have a sword on him right now. But there's a sword like sitting next to like the entrance, like on a little like,
All right.
table. And
So we should both roll speed to see who can do their action
You wanna
first.
go for it?
I'm just going to electrify the sword.
Okay, make a speed test.
Okay. Well, I mean, is it really a speed test then? Because I'm just electrifying it and he's going to grab it.
What's your medium? What do you use when you cast spells?
Oh, Caleb, we're supposed to be rolling for that.
Yeah. Go ahead and make that test because it just happened. So we'll make a first. You have to roll a random number. He's using his own soul. That's his power source.
Oh, well, of all the power sources. Well, okay, yeah, but what is he? There's like a thing you have to do, right? Like reading or whatever.
Only for different power sources, not for soul.
So
for soul, it's the roll.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So so you just rolled that one there.
Yeah.
That means you have to tax your will then.
My will? Okay.
Yep.
So then I roll will, right?
What?
Yes, you would roll will against obstacle equal to the test that you made. So it was a what did we decide?
I think it was 2.
No, it was 1 because it was against his successes. So
Never mind.
it's just an one will test.
What's just
Should be
happened?
fine. So the way that
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, describe this for us, Jared. So like so not only did you do that then, but now we're looking at it now with you starting to do this other thing. What does your magic look like when you do it? Right?
Ooh.
Like you gain strength from your own soul. So
Yeah.
like what does that look like?
That's it.
Oh man, I'm getting to make up the lore.
The only person that has had this and I've described what it looked like is they use the essential discipline to basically draw life energy out of their body and then like put it onto something. But I think that was just an effect of the discipline, not an effect of the power source. So you can kind of just make it up.
Okay. Well, you know how like in summer, like when you're cooking the grill and then they're like the wavy lines above the grill.
Yeah.
You radiate that, and I don't know what else is cheesy and cool for magic stuff. Glowing eyes. There we go.
I mean, you electrocute things. You should just have electricity fly out everywhere. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, that too. All 3 of those. Why
Just
not?
whole static electricity.
Okay, but do you want it to be that? I don't think it's as flashy as all that, right? Like, I think the soul is one of the ones that's not as flashy. I like the heat wave thing for sure. Like, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Let's only do that one then,
just do
because
that one?
then I won't have to roll inconspicuous every time I do it.
Yeah, I think that's probably helpful for you too.
It's true.
I forgot. I'm supposed to be metagaming here.
So we see this shimmer off of you as we kind of like pause slow motion, right? Like he looks at his sword and you just start glimmering, right? Like these waves just kind of like radiate off of you. So yeah, go ahead and make another test here. This is just going to be against his speed. Actually, he's probably just going to roll brawling, I guess, is basically what this is, because the test is going to be whether he's going to grab his sword and attack you. And if he succeeds, that's what will happen. If you succeed, so I guess he's rolling a sword test, but if you succeed, then you will do your thing to him before he gets to you. So this is his roll. That, and that will be your roll. So 2.
All right, so plasma again, because why not? Plasma's awesome.
So what are you doing exactly? What's your intent?
I'm going to electrify his sword. So when he picks it up, he'll drop it. And hopefully he'll drop it like on his foot or something.
Okay.
Hopefully.
So am I misunderstanding what you mean by plasma? Because I don't know that. Maybe I don't know what plasma is, but I don't know.
Plasma is like there's fire,
energy,
liquid,
basically.
gas, and plasma is just
I
energy.
thought it was basically just a form of state of matter that was incredibly, like, hotter than any other form of matter.
It also depends on the form and like the intensity of it.
Yeah.
Right.
It comes in a lot of different forms, some of which are electricity or fire.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like liquid plasma is something completely different, but
I've
it's
never
still
heard of
plasma.
electricity being correlated to plasma. Okay, that's fine.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what lightning is. It's just plasma.
It's plasma. That's what it is.
All right. So
Interesting.
this time I'm gonna roll anatomy because I'm gonna try to make his hand like lock up.
Okay, so you're forking that in.
Yeah.
So you.
All right. Okay.
So you're using the metal of the sword to conduct it into his hand and trying to get his muscles to seize up. That makes sense.
Magic wise.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't the grip of a sword usually wooden?
Physical discipline. And that is all I can do. Can I add in intimidation because I'm trying to get him to stop with?
No, because you failed intimidation.
Oh yeah, I did. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And what's the ob? 2?
2. Yep.
Okay. Aha!
There you go. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So you do that. He grabs for his sword, and yeah, you just and his hands just seizes up on it, and like he just like drops, right? Like he
Shiny side up.
Go ahead and make another tax test. So go ahead and roll a d5, because that's the amount. Because you don't have to worry about perception. You never have to tax that.
Oh, I thought if I rolled that means I get a free one, right?
Did we say that?
Yeah, that's how we said. It's always 6, and then if you land on one that's already 6, you don't have to. It doesn't do anything.
Okay, so technically, then you would not have had to make that will test because you would have landed on perception.
Okay, so then this will test that I rolled was for this one.
No, because you see it anyway, so it doesn't even matter. But yeah, go ahead and roll a d6 now. Yeah, so if it is a 1, that's good for you because then you don't have to tax it.
2, so that's will then, right?
Yep, that's will. So make another will test at ob 2.
Oh,
Is this something you homebrewed, or is this part of?
Yes. No, this is homebrew for sure. I'll explain it. I'll explain it a little bit more in depth after we.
I think I figured it out. But
nice. So, do I roll magic for these as well, or is it just a straight up will?
Oh, I forgot to write that. I forgot to write magic on your character sheet.
Yeah.
No, it's just straight up.
Okay.
You'll roll magic when you want to do something that you're not trained with in magic.
Gotcha. Okay.
So make sure you mark down 2 fate points from your pool there, because you spent 2 of them already.
Okay. Where do I?
Yeah. So basically, yeah, he seizes up, falls to the ground, and you just gather up your stuff, and you just leave, and like he's just like twitching on the ground. Again, you did it well, so like he didn't pass, he didn't like die or have any actual like wounds happen. It's basically just like, yeah, you had his muscles seize up, and so he's like just like cramped and like on the ground for a little while, and you just take your stuff and leave.
Now that the situation is different, can I roll an ugly truth roll to try and make him not to talk to anyone and to get his wife to stop messing with me?
Okay, so the ugly truth is you won't talk, because if you do,
you'll end up on my experimentation table, and you'll be filled with animal parts. So
okay, yeah, make an ugly truth.
Ooh. All right.
Obstacle 1. That's the worst possible outcome.
Okay, and I'm gonna fork in Chimera Wise, Anatomy, and Intimidation.
Okay. Obstacle 4. Wow. That was an obstacle 4, so that's actually a difficult test for you.
Oh.
Make sure you put it up.
I thought you said 1. Sorry, my bad.
Oh no, it's not a difficult test because you got 6 dice. That's still a routine. So
okay.
Okay, so yeah, you succeed. So he just like shudders and you leave. And on that note, let's go ahead and take our first break. Stick around.
What did you just say?
He just Siegfried?
Yeah. No. What did you just say that he did?
He just shudders.
Oh, okay.
He's like lying on the ground, right? And he just shudders.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, we cut to break there. So stick around. We got more Crow Inquisitors coming right after this. Be right back.